Welcome to season 3 of Klub podcast. You will not see those mustaches anymore on this channel because now clean shaven Nitin Tewari, Mr. Bartender, is here.
Hello, senior. Oh, it's my. I mean,
all yours.
I am. You're the host.
Flow
no, I am the host. No, I am confused. Who is the host? Oh wow! I thought I had planned for an introduction, which is out of the window right now. Anyways, welcome to Cocktail Club podcast by Avinash Kapoli.
I'm a guest.
Yeah, we have a guest here. I don't think you need an introduction. The most trend-setting bartender in the country, Mr. Bartender.
Accidental.
But for me, at least, वो senior वाली vibe देने वाला bartender. I think a hanging out buddy has been one call away if you need anything about bars and bartending. I think also a client, customer, plus collaborations. I think
everything in one.
Everything in one. Wow. I think I am super happy today कि आपको मैं पकड़ के इधर लेकर आया. कितना 4 महीने से बात कर रहे हैं?
हाँ, at least more than that. I've been wanting to come this, but unfortunately the time never matched up and everything.
Yeah.
I came here 2-3 times, but never ended up shooting a podcast. So super happy to be here and thank you for inviting me. Love the work that you do and hopefully I can just be a part of it.
I'm glad you took out time. I think the first and foremost question, probably before I ask, it's been a journey for you, I'm sure. 17, 18 years or maybe
20 nearly now. 20 years. A really fun one.
I think it's been a great journey, no?
Yes, it's been a fun journey.
Okay.
20 has been the legal part of it. There's some illegal part of it, which we can't talk on podcast. That will talk separately.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been one roller coaster ride and I love every bit of it.
So where did it start off from? What was like your first interaction with alcohol, or where was it at? When you were a kid at home, you saw the first time?
See, as a family, I come from a Brahmin family. So obviously in family, we don't drink alcohol kind of a thing. But I was, when I was growing up, one of my cousin brothers, his name is Nitin Tewari, he did hotel management quite long back. And I think no one knew about hotel management then. And he entered into this hospitality industry, worked everything. And then he was one of the first few bartenders. So if I had to give you names like Mr. Lama, Sandeep Verma, Nitin, these were 3-4 bartenders who actually started the whole culture, the bar scene in India. And he was doing all the stuff and then he started his freelancing business at that time. This was long time back. I was in 10th class then. I gave my 10th board exam and then as a small, like a break, every time we went to his house. And then he said like, what are you doing for next 1 week? I was like, nothing. He said, घूमने चलेगा? I'm like, हाँ, चलूँगा, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? So he just put me into the car and we went for a wedding.
Okay.
It was a freelance wedding. And my job was very simple. I will not say it's a child labor, but it was fun for me. He just gave me a job of picking up stuff. Like कि तू सामान उठा के लेके आ, बार पे रख.
और ये बार इवेंट था?
ये बार इवेंट था, शादी थी किसी की, उसमें जाना था, उदयपुर में शादी थी, 4-5 डेस्टिनेशन थी, मतलब एक 10th का बोर्ड एग्जाम दिया हुआ बच्चा, उसको हर दिन के 100 रुपए दिए उन्होंने, ठीक है? It was like the best thing happening in my life. And my job was.
आप तब तक कभी दारू पिए थे?
नहीं, दारू तो कहाँ, तब उसके बाद दारू छुआ भी नहीं था, मतलब सिर्फ देखा था कि हाँ मतलब कुछ होती है. And he gave me a job कि जूस को स्टैक कर, और पहले 2-3 इवेंट में जूस स्टैकिंग, सॉफ्ट ड्रिंक स्टैकिंग ये सब कुछ किया. आखिरी इवेंट में जाके उन्होंने बोला कि आज तेरे को मैं ब्लेंडर दूंगा, ठीक है? So he gave me मॉकटेल स्टेशन. तो उन्होंने कहा कि जूसेस को ब्लेंड कर और मॉकटेल बनाना शुरू कर, okay? And this was after like 4-5 events of wedding. Like हम सुबह शाम रात दिन 3 इवेंट करते रहे दिन के, but it was good fun. And I started making mocktails. I still remember that one guest who came to me.
So this you were studying by then?
Yeah, school, 11th class. 11th class. Okay, so I think I was living in different country. Internationally, people get into work at that age. Luckily, मेरा इंडिया में शुरू हो गया था. तभी मैं बोलता हूँ थोड़ा इलीगल पार्ट है क्योंकि यहाँ पे अलाउड नहीं है, बट बाहर तो अलाउड है. So I started making the mocktail at that wedding event on the 4th day or something, and I made some mocktails. People loved it, and I was like, यार पहली चीज़ जिस जिंदगी में करी और लोगों ने appreciate किया. मतलब जब भी तुम you do as a kid, whatever you do, as many score number you get 75% in school, it's like there is scope for more, है ना? मतलब तुम कुछ भी कर लो, there is always scope for more. Correct. यहाँ पे मैंने एक ड्रिंक बनाया नॉन अल्कोहलिक और गेस्ट को दिया, कहता भाई तूने बेस्ट ड्रिंक बनाया. मैंने कहा भाई ये इंडस्ट्री मेरे लिए बनी है. And I started developing interest, and then.
But just to understand, you were good at studies. You were
inclined towards studies? I am a I will not say I'm a very studious kid, but I was a decent kid. I did my non-medical. My parents, obviously, they all come from engineering family. Like my brother, my father, they both are engineers. My mother is a teacher. So they always wanted me to get into that engineering side of it. So उसके लिए मेरे को non-medical दिलाया, computer, chemistry, physics, सब कुछ पढ़ा है मैंने, ठीक है? और स्कोर भी अच्छा 77% मेरे बोर्ड में आए थे, CBSE बोर्ड में. Decent, but I knew that कि ये करना नहीं है. So just even after 12 they made me fill all the forms for IIT, IEEE, सबके फॉर्म भरे. मैं तुक्का मास्टर हूँ. I always say I am a guy with lot of luck. एक दो एग्जाम तो मैंने क्वेश्चन पेपर खोला भी नहीं. ठीक है, क्वेश्चन पेपर दिया, एक आंसर शीट दी, वो गोल गोल थी, मैंने उसके उसमें नाम लिखा और सिर्फ गोले मार दिए सारे. ठीक है, टीचर मेरे को से देख रहा है, उसको लगा कि मैंने पेपर लीक करवाया, क्योंकि ऐसे गोले कोई भी मारता है ना जिसको. तो उसने बोला डन. मैंने कहा यस. कह रहा हाउ डू यू पुट दिस. मैंने कहा मूड है मेरा, डाल दिया मैंने. रियलाइज किया मैंने क्वेश्चन पेपर में जो उसके आंसर शीट थे 60 थे, क्वेश्चन पेपर में 40 ही थे. मैंने कहा भाई बैठ के मिटाए मैंने कि ये गलत हो गया, मिटाओ उसको. बट दैट्स हाउ इट्स ऑल स्टार्टेड. With all these exams that I was doing, I also gave hotel management exam because I know कि होटल मैनेजमेंट एक ऐसी चीज है जो मुझे करनी है. That was something I was passionate about. I gave the exam. I got a decent rank. I think 934 was my rank.
Maybe can you say mood में आ गया तो कर ले होटल मैनेजमेंट?
नहीं. It was always like I think by 10th क्लास के बोर्ड के बाद 11th 12th में मैंने डिसाइड कर लिया था मेंटली कि मेरे को ना यही करना है. ये जो मेरे भाई करते हैं, मतलब बारटेंडिंग करनी है. I would have already decided then कि ये करना है.
आपका जो परसेप्शन था इंडस्ट्री के बारे में खाली वो बारटेंडिंग ही था या फैमिली में कोई इस इंडस्ट्री में या कुछ?
The only thing I know about hospitality industry was bartending. So I got introduced into hospitality industry from the angle, from a viewpoint of a bartender. How this industry works, late nights hai, in parties hai, hard work pays, you know, you get money, or you have to work really hard for it. There is a lot of creativity involved. You have to be very smart. You have to be good in interaction. You should be able to talk to people. These were something that I started seeing when I entered the hospitality industry.
So before you entered hospitality, you didn't know that there are these many subjects. इसमें खाना बनाना है, beverage है, food
nothing. I had no idea. The only thing I knew about hospitality was कि कुछ bottles होती हैं, कुछ juices होते हैं, mix करके उससे drink बन जाती है, ठीक है. But then obviously by 12th class I started understanding क्या है, कैसे है. Another cousin of mine, Nitin's brother, he also got into hotel management. He did IHM Pusa. So they both, the brothers are IHM students. And then I gave the exam. I didn't get IHM Pusa, my rank थोड़ी पीछे थी, but I got IHM Chandigarh. But I did everything. I wanted to learn about cooking. I learned about everything because एक background में था कि it will all help me somewhere in my life. So I did everything from housekeeping to all the stuff. And then the focus was set into one to become bartender.
Nice. So you joined IHM Chandigarh as a hotel management student.
Yeah.
That was 3 years?
It's a 3-year course, a degree course. I did everything else in that thing. First year I just kept quiet. I didn't show anything about my bar skills or bartending. I used to do flair bartending by then already. I think 12th के बाद मैंने flair bartending सीख ली थी. संदीप वर्मा सर के इंस्टीट्यूट था IBM. तो कुछ ब्रेक मिला था, पता नहीं कोई छुट्टी थी, समर वेकेशन थी. So I just went there and मैं लगा हाँ लग जा. So I used to go every day in the morning like around 9:30 10. शाम के 7 बजे तक मैं सिर्फ फ्लेयर प्रैक्टिस करता था. So in like 15-20 days I learned flair and I do decent flair bartending as well, but I don't do it anymore.
You're being very humble.
So I did that just for fun purposes and learned. And then in college first year I didn't tell anyone that I do bartending and everything. By second year I started showing my colors. तो क्योंकि उनको पता चल गया कि ये बंदा freelance bartending कर रहा है. So from I remember in second year there is this syrup company called Monin. They launched at that time. My brother was working for them as a brand ambassador then. He was one of the first brand ambassadors for any syrup company or any company to be honest that time. So उन्होंने बोला चंडीगढ़ में कोई ट्रेनिंग कर देगा. मैंने कहा हाँ. So as a IHM student I went to Taj Hotel जो खुल चुका था to do a training for those bartenders. ठीक है, मैं वहाँ गया, मैंने उनको ट्रेनिंग करी कि Monin से ऐसे कॉकटेल बनाते हैं. उसके कुछ दिनों के बाद वो हमारे कॉलेज आए और उन्होंने देखा कि ये हमारा स्टूडेंट है. उनके टीचर कह रहे you are student here, so where do you learn bartending? And that's how my teachers got to know कि साइड में बहुत कुछ करता रहता है. And I think that was the start for the whole bartending career for me.
Okay.
Third year में थोड़ा hiccups हुए थे, मतलब obviously everyone wanted you know when I was in third year obviously the placement happened. Everyone believes that कि when you go into hotel industry तुमको जनरल मैनेजर बनना है, ठीक है, मतलब that is the core objective. मेरा एम थोड़ा अलग था, जनरल मैनेजर बनना ही नहीं था, F&B मैनेजर बनना नहीं था, मेरे को बारटेंडर बनना था. So now anyone who came for taking interviews and selecting for job, they liked my profile everything, but वो कहते हैं कि हम तुमको मैनेजमेंट ट्रेनिंग लेंगे. और मैं बोलता था मुझे मैनेजमेंट ट्रेनिंग सिलेक्ट नहीं होना आपके यहाँ, क्योंकि आपकी मैनेजमेंट ट्रेनिंग करके मेरे को मैनेजर नहीं बनना, मेरे को बारटेंडर बनना है. So that happened for Oberoi's, that happened for Imperial, that happened for Hyatt, that happened for Taj. So I gave four interviews. I got selected for all 4. But I was very like fixed that I want to become a bartender. So rest companies gave me like the management trainee program. In Taj there was a TST program. In Oberoi there was OCR program. I was selected for OCLD, but then I didn't go for the rest interviews. But then gave OCR, Imperial management trainee. but those were not focusing towards bartending, and these hotels didn't had bars at that time. Hyatt Regency Delhi had a cocktail bar at that time called Polo Lounge. And through my sources, obviously, industry sources, I got to know that they are hiring an expat bartender to come into India.
Okay.
And so there was a guy named Ian Davis. He was the first or second expat bartender to come into India at that time. So मेरा aim set था कि मेरे को college खत्म करना है, Hyatt join करना है, Polo Lounge में घुसना है और इस गोरे bartender से bartending सीखनी है. That's it.
Wow.
And I set that aim and I accomplished it pretty much.
Amazing. No, but you still haven't answered my question. When did you have the first drink of your life?
First drink, मुझे याद, to be honest, I think ऐसी देखो टेस्टिंग तो शुरू हो गई होगी, पता नहीं, आई डोंट नो, आफ्टर कॉलेज और समथिंग आई वुड स्टार्ट टेस्टिंग इट एवरीथिंग, जस्ट आई एम श्योर वो बाद में आएगा निकल के. लॉट ऑफ पीपल विल आस्क दिस. आई डोंट ड्रिंक रेगुलरली, लाइक यू नो इट, आई ओनली ड्रिंक फॉर टेस्टिंग पर्पसेस. समटाइम टेस्टिंग ज्यादा हो जाती है तो बात अलग है, बट इस अल्कोहल ड्रिंकिंग इज नॉट समथिंग दैट आई डू फॉर फन और एंजॉयमेंट. I only do it because it's part of my life, it's part of my work, and that's the reason I do it. And I think that's how I want to keep it as well, because I know the two sides of drinking alcohol. Like it's great when you do it in control. It becomes a nightmare if you lose control on it. So from day one, I knew it it was very clear in my mind. Obviously, like my parents were always skeptical कि यार घुस रहा है इस industry में क्या है. But they knew me as a person that I have a very set mindset. Like if I do something, if from 10th class to become a hotel management, if I can achieve that, I can also achieve this in my life. So I have kept it like that. You will rarely see me getting drunk or going crazy.
No, but the reason why I also want to ask this question is that we are talking a lot about mindful drinking, right? अभी जब कॉलेज में थे, द जनरल यू नो टाइम और व्हाटएवर इट इज दैट पहला आपका कोई तो मेमोरी होगा जब आप दोस्त लोगों के साथ, कॉलेज मेट्स के साथ पहले बैठ के पिए होंगे.
आई वॉज ऑलवेज अ चकना मास्टर. मैं हमेशा चकना खाने के एक्सपर्ट. ठीक है, मतलब मेरे दोस्त अभी भी अगर देख रहे हैं तो कमेंट कर देंगे.
चकना मास्टर.
So they all know me. I was that guy in the group. Drinks आती थी, snacks आते थे, सबसे पहले snacks खत्म करने वाला आदमी मैं होता था. ठीक है. I don't know, like even in college days, maybe I would have had tried beers and some drinks like Old Monk and everything. That's what goes in my content as well. So I would have done that. But again, I would never sat down and everything. I still remember, I still have this with me. My brother got his job in TCS. He's an engineer. So उन्होंने मेरे को पैसे दिए थोड़े से. मेरा बर्थडे था. It's like I'll give you some money and just have a birthday party. है ना? I like great. I took all my friends to a small bar in sector 21 in Chandigarh. वो बेसमेंट में बार था. I still have the bill of it because वो मेरी मम्मी को मिल गया था. तो उस बिल में मैंने सबके लिए अल्कोहल ऑर्डर करी, सबने ड्रिंक पी थी और उसमें 2 लस्सी थी. तो मैं और मेरा फ्रेंड जो सूरज नाम का फ्रेंड है मेरा, जो उत्तराखंड में रहता है, हम दोनों ने लस्सी ऑर्डर करी थी. हम दोनों ड्रिंक नहीं करते रहे. तो it was a night club kind of a place. उसमें सबने ड्रिंक ऑर्डर करी हुई है और 2 लस्सी है. एंड देन लेटर ऑन आई हैड द बिल इन माय पॉकेट और मम्मी को मिला. मम्मी कहती ये बिल क्या है? मैंने कहा मम्मी बर्थडे पार्टी. कहती और ये 2 लस्सी. मैंने कहा आप समझ जाओगे. अरे हाँ, फिर गुड. ये
न्यूज़ रिवील, नितिन तिवारी गोस टू अ बार एंड ऑर्डर लस्सी.
आप क्लैरिफाइड हो ही रहा है. So that was the fun part of life, and I always knew that I don't want to get into that world that I make drinking a passion for me. I wanted serving drinks the passion for me, and I think that's what I kept clear in my mind.
That's a great thought. Drinking is not passion, serving drinks.
Serving drinks is the passion.
Amazing. So now that passion, I think, started getting evolved when you were in college. So you finished college, and then how did life take off from there? कि उधर से क्या हुआ?
Again, see, nothing comes easy to you. Like it has its own path to take and everything, but you have a learning from everything. I got selected from multiple places, different hotels. Hyatt was the only hotel which offered me a job of a bartender. Surprise was there when I joined there. So when I reached there, I was tall, fit guy and everything. I reached there, and then an F&B manager assistant F&B walks in front, and then he says like, these guys, you go there, you go there, you go there. And when it came to me, it's like, you go to banquet. And I like, what? I got selected from my college as a bartender, and you send this guy to a bar and you're sending me to a banquet. Why? I got really pissed because, and the good thing was I already had some backup jobs in my hand. So if it didn't work here, I was like, it's fine. This is like, no. If he has said it, SNFNB has said it and everything. I'm sure he's watching it. His name is Ruben Kataria. I mean, now he's a very good friend of mine. And he said, and he didn't knew me at that time. He said, no, you have to just go and do it. I was like, okay, fine. They put me into banquets. I went there. And luckily at that time, Hyatt Regency Delhi, their F&B was peak. They were doing the best thing ever. And I met these mentors. Now these all people are my mentors. They taught me so many things in life. And me going to banquets at that time as a kid, I really hated it. But today when I sit, I say like it was the best thing that happened in my life. It showed me that nothing will come easy to you. You have to earn it. They put me into banquets. It took me 1 month that they themselves told me that please go to the bar. They sent me to a bar which was headed by Anirudh Singhal, if you know, from Speedix. Yeah. Anirudh is also an industry guy. He was the manager of Jins at that time. And Jins was in closing phase kind of a thing. It was last few things. And China Kitchen was supposed to open there. And every weekend the bar used to get busy. So from banquet they used to send me to bar to just bartend there. And then people started realizing that I can do good in cocktails. And they realized that I am not a good fit. I'm a good fit for banquet events. So in banquets, I started doing flair bartending. I started like revenue अच्छा रहा था banquet का क्योंकि वो मेरे को भेज रहा है flair bartender आया. And then Ian Davis got to know there is a guy who's doing flair. Then he came and met me automatically. He said, like, yeah, let's do something. Why don't you come to Pearl Lounge? And then suddenly there was so much hua happening and everything. And in between that, I remember Vikram sir organized, Taliho, they organized a competition with Mari Blizzard. Mari Blizzard liqueurs, if you know. Yeah. And I got to know again through my industry sources that this competition is happening. मैंने register कर दिया competition में.
आपका उम्र क्या था तभी?
ये याद नहीं है मेरे को. 21 वही college pass out किया 21-22 होगा. So I registered for it. ठीक है. मैंने अब मुझे लगा competition में participate कर लो क्या जाता है. And my entry got shortlisted. And then it became Nitin Tewari from Hyatt Regency Delhi participating in this. And then for the first round I asked my manager कि मेरा ऐसा competition है. मैंने बोला उनको भी लगा छोटा मोटा competition होगा चले जा. So I went. And then from there the host, one of the hosts who was from the manager, he called the F&B manager. He's like, oh, your guy is here and he's doing very good. And then my F&B manager didn't had any idea who this guy Nitin Tewari is. And so he called my banquet manager. And banquet manager called me. He's like, tu kahan hai? I'm like, I told you I'm on a leave today. I came for the competition. It's like, no. You should have told everyone that which competition you are going for. I told everyone. They said, okay, fine. After the competition, come and meet. So it became little issue kind of a thing that how did I go there without even, because I'm a banquet bartender. Okay. How can I represent Hyatt Regency in a event? Okay. So luckily, obviously that competition happened. It was the first round and I won it. I was into finals, okay, and then now they were stuck that should I go ahead, participate, or should I they take my entry back? I was like, see, I have already done this part, and I see I have a good chance of going and winning the competition, but I'm here now. What should I do? They said, okay, fine, and then that's why I'm saying like it's always good to find right people. So all the managers of the hotel, they all came together. It's like, okay, you have gone there. Now we need to set and groom you. I still remember that day, Mr. Prasanjit Singh, he was the F&B director. He sent me to the hotel salon to get my haircut done.
Wow.
One of the managers got his watch. Another guy got me clothes. Everyone got things for me. They groomed me, trained me, and then sent me again to the final round. Amazing. And I was like so happy that the whole team came together to support me. And this is only, I think, 4th month in the Hyatt Regency. I was not even like 4 or 5 months old. They said, now you go and everything. I came second in the competition. I lost to a bartender named Arshad. He used to work in Taj Palace. We were a big competition to each other. He came number 1, I came number 2. But again, it was a big win for a Hyatt hotel. And for me as a career, it was my first competition. I came second. Right. But like first professional competition. Before that, I did some, never won it. But and I always tell people like, never aim for winning a competition. I did at least 6 competitions before it just to be in that competition room. Just to see what is happening around, what bartenders do. Because what I did on my first competition as a profession is the learning that I did from the other 6 competitions. Okay, and that I think that's the biggest learning that I can tell people to do from a competition perspective. And then after that competition...
But just to, sorry to cut you, but you think that competition and winning and the recognition you got in hotels, plus you met these people, also the team working there supporting you to become better, you think that was that phase in life where you got a little fame and you said this is the path I should take? Did you consider it as fame, or you said मैं काम अच्छा किया इसलिए मेरे पास आ
I think I personally felt that I have just started and this is something which I have to get, but this is just a start. This is nothing. It's like a small tip of an iceberg, I personally believe, and then I felt that I have to like keep pushing the boundaries, keep pushing, so that I reach that level where I want to be. Like I used to see bartenders, like if you know Rohan Carovala at that time, he used to be a flair champion. I used to see him like, that guy was like God in flair bartending. He used to, there's another guy named Sean, I'm not sure you know him, now he's in I think New Zealand. When these two guys used to enter a flair competition, people knew who are number 1, number 2.
Yes.
Okay, rest people are just there to support these two guys to win because they were so good. And I wanted to reach that level. I said like, I can't reach flair bartending, and flair was never my forte as well. I always wanted to talk about good quality drinks. I said like, one day I want to reach that level from a mixology perspective. I want to do drinks such that when I enter a room, people know that a guy who is a probable winner is entering. And that's what my aim was. Like first competition, I came second. I like brilliant. I like now I need to work really hard, and that's what I kept doing. And the high journey continues. And luckily, all those managers. I personally believe the most important thing that people in hospitality should realize, hospitality is a business, not only that you're giving hospitality to the guest who is coming, it's also around you that you build, okay? The managers, the people you meet, how you build relationship. Like I'm very proud to say all those managers who I worked with, they are in touch with me and I do their work. So like whenever Ruben sir goes to a new hotel, the first thing he give me a call, it's like, can you do a talk for my staff? Can you just come over and meet? Every single F&B manager is now a general manager. I have been lucky to work in this hotel, do their beverage programs and everything. I work with Hyatt closely, I work with Hilton's closely, I go to Marriott's closely, all because of the relationship I made. I think this industry is all about relationship. You can gain knowledge, but what you can't gain is a relationship. And that's the key for it.
Amazing. I would like to take this conversation further, but अभी एक छोटा सा break लेंगे. आपके साथ तो मैं hanging out बहुत किया हूँ, maybe for a drink, visit other bars, but hanging out while we are doing some project, but we have never had a lunch together.
Let's bring it on.
I'm going to bring a few biryanis on the table.
Let's do this. I'm in Bangalore. Okay. That's what I'm supposed to have. With my size, obviously you can understand. My focus is always food.
Chakna master.
Master.
Now we'll look at biryani as a chakna now.
Done. Perfect.
Okay. Let's get the biryani. I hope you enjoyed the biryani.
After the nap, it feels good.
We will wait for some pulpy grape juice as well as some amazing desserts. Mysore pak or albai khayenge.
Looking forward.
We were talking about your time in Australia.
Yes.
And what was going on there. Now, if everything was going on, वापस क्यों आए फिर?
There are two sides of everything that happens. Australia was great. Initially, for first 1-2 years, it was phenomenal. I loved that country, loved the vibe, met a lot of people, learned a lot and everything. But at one point, when I turned into a full-time employee, I felt the way we hustle in India, the amount of things that we can do in this country, or I was doing before. Australia has a different environment. Out there, people live and as a side thing, they just work. Like the work is not the main focus. But in India, we have been born and brought up in a culture or a place where we consider work to be a very important part of our life.
Agree. Yeah.
And I also always because of that thing, I always wanted to do new things, hustle and do crazy stuff and everything, which I was not able to find in Australia. Okay. And if the environment doesn't allow you to grow, then what can you do? And then that was the time when I decided that I need to do something more and I need to explore new countries. I did try to get into the brand roles and everything in Australia, but obviously there was always that hiccup of how an Indian person working in Australia become a brand rep of a particular brand. So I realized that the best country to be doing that will be in India. Right. And that's where I ended up coming back to India. Okay. And you know where I came to. I joined Bacardi. I was in Australia. I was here for some wedding. Luckily, I put my CV into Bacardi and I got a call. And they said why don't you come in? Before me, Arijit Bose used to be the brand ambassador. Right. He quit some time back and then they were looking for replacement. Arijit himself was the guy who put my CV into Bacardi as well before that. Oh, and then I got a call random day that can you come for an interview? I got a mail. I'll reply to it. I was like, yes, I can come next week, Monday. They said, okay, fine, come. So they didn't realize who they were talking to. They didn't thought that I was in Australia and I was replying from Australia. Because I was lucky I was coming to India anyways for wedding. So I said next week I can just go and give interview as well. So next week came, I went to Bacardi office, gave interview. They said like, perfect. Why, when you can join? I like, I will need at least a month. They said like, why? I need to go back and pack my stuff back, get it back to India, get it back and everything. I had to settle down in Gurgaon. He said, where do you live? I said, Adelaide, South Australia. He's like, what? And then they got a shock of their life. Like, are you here? You came from Australia to give interview? I was like, no, it was just a coincidence. So they said, okay, fine. And luckily, that was the moment that I decided that I have to move back to India. And I came back from Australia, just left all the job there, packed everything, came back to India. And I know that this is the job that I want to do because I wanted to travel. I wanted to meet bartenders. I wanted to explore India as a country. And I have already done bartending in India, so I can't go back to bartending. I want to do something beyond that. And I wanted to find a role where I can use the knowledge that I learned in my master's also. And I think the ambassador role was perfect in that case. So I started that journey, and that took me to meet you as well in that journey.
Yes, correct. So how long were you with Bacardi?
I was with Bacardi for 4 years in total, and did the advocacy role across different cities and everything.
But when you joined Bacardi, you had studied masters in hospitality and all of that. You wanted to get into business, or you came to India saying, let me take up this job and see how it goes? You wanted to do business or become an entrepreneur at some point when you were working in Australia, or was it purely what else can I explore in this industry?
I think at one point of my life in this industry, I stopped thinking too much. Okay, I just, to be honest, I just go with the flow. Whatever happens, I find things happening in front of me, and if I like it, I just do that. That's how I do it. I don't pre-plan things, and I think in the current environment, how the world is evolving, like who knew about AI? Like 1 year back, there was nothing called AI, and now everything is AI. Okay, now if 4 years back I would have decided to become a content writer, today my job would have been neglected zero. But I didn't thought of doing that. I see the time now. I know there is AI in market. I use AI to help me in doing my work. So I adapt in the current situation and do that. And I think this is what I learned. And might be it is wrong or right. I don't care, but it works for me. When I came back, I didn't had much plan. I wanted to join Bacardi because I wanted to create a connect with the industry. When I bartended, I was a bartender in Delhi. There used to be no social media then when I was a bartender at Rick's and all these places. I think Orkut was there. Maybe Orkut.
I remember.
I think Orkut was also came after that, if I'm not wrong. I'm not exactly sure, but I think I had an Orkut profile or something like that. But
Orkut, I think, was 2007-8.
Yeah, so it was same time when I was working at Rick's. So it was just there, kind of. No one knew about it. Like you can use social media and everything. So I was not connected to a bartender in Mumbai or a bartender in Bangalore or something like that. Like now we are connected like that. Like there was no mobile phones. Like having a mobile phone was a rich man's job. Only Ambani had it then. Like I was not an Ambani. So the thing is that the connectivity was less. And I thought like Bacardi was a very good job that can give me that opportunity. And they did. Like I owe a big thing, a big part of my life and career to Bacardi because they gave me the best platform. They made me travel and I love traveling. I used to be on road I used to only reach Gurgaon where I stayed for 4 days or 5 days in a month and only to exchange my bags. Reach, change my bag, go back and again on the road.
Living out of a suitcase.
And I loved it. And this is a life I really love. I love to do it again, but again, I think with age and responsibilities, things become smaller. But yeah, it's good fun.
But you are so I can feel that passion when you talk about your job at Bacardi. फिर छोड़ा ही क्यों Bacardi आपने? ये तो सबसे बड़ा क्वेश्चन. Come on guys, breaking news.
Breaking news. इसलिए छोड़ा क्योंकि तूने भी छोड़ा. See, I think as I said that. For me, I see things and I work like that. I adapt to that particular situation. At Bacardi, I was doing great things. Like Sunish is also here. He also worked with us in Bacardi. We did awesome work. Like I must tell you that that team that we had then, we used to kill it. Like every hotel bar, every cocktail bar, we had cocktails there. We were having a connection. We were doing advocacy thing, Bacardi legacy, you and us, we all work together and do that. It was super fun. But at one point in time, I realized that there is more that I can do. And again, that वो कीड़ा जग रहा था कि कुछ नया करना है. And one random day, it all starts from one small thing. I got a menu. He had a colleague named Stuti. Sunish might know her. Stuti was the LHA person from Delhi. She got a menu and said, like, Nitin, can you pair this menu? It was a food menu. And I said, like, and I used to get a lot of food menus to pair. Like, for example, butter chicken tikka ko pair kar do cocktail se, which I used to hate then. But that menu was different. Like, the menu had crazy stuff, like things which are having like lacto fermentation, there was air and things like that. And I was like, who has done this menu? It's like, this is a new chef who's there in Olive, and he has made this menu. And he's planning to do like a tasting table, and they asked us as the Bacardi brand to partner. I like, can you fix a meeting with this person? Because that was the first time I saw there was some chef who was doing beyond what any chef in India was doing. And chef name was Chef Sujan Sarkar. And you know, he's a very good friend of mine, and I'm worked very closely with him. And I went to Olive to meet him, and luckily that day Edi sir was also there. So I met both of them, and then I said, like, I have this idea, and they said, like, where were you till now? It's like, I was there in Bacardi office, but I never saw your menu. So, and we did a tasting table concept in Olive, which was phenomenal success. People just loved that idea and concept. And then Edi sir and Sujan chef introduced me to the idea of a bar that they were planning to do. So they were setting up a small bar, just like your Soka place, just a small bar. And the idea was they wanted to showcase India in a modern format.
Okay.
As soon as they said this word, like I still remember that moment when they were sitting and they said, like, we want to take Indian concept, Indian food, Indian things, and showcase it to the global world. I was in completely. Okay. And good thing about Bacardi, they introduced me to them. But that was the worst thing for Bacardi, because the day they said that, I already started thinking that, should I leave Bacardi? I had a very settled Bacardi job, you know it. But I felt that, you know, that particular moment was the thing that I was really waiting for. I always thought as a bartender, even if you go back to my bartending history and the kind of cocktails I did, I always use Indian ingredients quite widely. Like, I have been using it, but I didn't had a direction for it. It was just there. I will put an Indian ingredient into a cocktail, but I don't know what to call it. It was just there. I was not able to put it into an envelope or a concept together. And what the lines they said was the concept for it. And like, this is what a modern Indian cocktail bar is.
Right.
And it didn't existed before that.
Yeah.
And I went back to Bacardi one random day, and I said, I want to leave. And this was just like 1 week from the time that this happened. And they said, like, what happened? Is everything fine? Because no one realized that it will be coming from my side. I'll leave. Because I was super happy in what I was doing. They were happy with the work that I used to do. And I said, no, like, you know, there is something more that I want to do in my life. And I think that's the calling. So luckily at that time, Bacardi team was like very supportive. They said, okay, fine, you want to do it? Go ahead, do it. We'll figure out something. So they said there's some work that you might have to continue doing it. So I said, like, perfect. So they put me into a contract, which made sure that I get enough earning to sustain life. Even if I fail in this, I will have some earning coming from here. And so I used to started consulting them. And then I started my own consultancy thing. And Ek Bar was luckily the first bar project that I did as part of it. And the rest is history. A lot of people know Ek Bar as the bar that made Royal Indian Punch, City of Nizam, Murabba Mule, and Queen Victoria. Like these are 4 drinks that are very close to my mind. And it had the best bar team to work with. Those bar team made possible these cocktails. And all those people who worked in Ek Bar, I was just sitting with someone yesterday, they are the top of their industry wherever they are. Game name, Roger is doing phenomenally well in US, Santosh is doing amazing work in Mumbai, Chetan is opened his own bar called Yar, Param, Akhilesh, Suraj, Shubham, they all are doing phenomenal work in whatever they have done, and that's all possible.
Do you think that is the key moment in your life which said you should take Indian cocktails to the next level, do for the community, that education in terms of social media, whatever else you're doing, would you attribute that to that particular stage in life?
I always attribute it, I always take it back to that one moment when that AD sir and Chef Sujan said these words to me. That was the moment I knew. As I said, like, I used to do things, but I didn't have a name for it. And I knew then that modern Indian is the thing that I want to stick to. Now, whatever you do, wherever you see me making drinks and everything, you'll always see some Indian elements. And I feel comfortable in it. Like, I have to do things, like, because I work with brands, which is French thing. Like, for Grey Goose, I do French stuff. But obviously, when I mostly make drinks, like, I work very closely with Longitude 77. I work with Godawan, which is again an Indian single malt. Why? It's all because it's in my genes. Like, I love doing things around the India as a country, because I personally believe this. It's what I personally believe, that we're catering to an audience who is Indian. Predominantly, if I talk about expats, it just will be 0.1% of the number of people we cater to, and I think whatever they talk or say, but what inside them is a pure hardcore Indian. Like, few years back, we as an Indian, we never used to proudly say that, we are from India. But now you can see the difference that is happening. We proudly say that we are Indians, and we are very proud of our country. The amount of passion that we show when the Independence Day and things come, that has developed. And I call it the Indianness. Like we were just talking before, like you were saying about wearing Indian clothes, brand clothes. It has all happened in recent times,
Correct.
So I thought it's the best thing to do. So that's why I personally believe there's nothing better to do Indian cocktails, and that's what I stick to.
Amazing. Is that when your entrepreneurship journey started off?
Yes. So this was a consultancy thing. So Ek Bar clicked. The bar did phenomenally well, became one of the best bars in the country, won some awards and everything. Then I started getting more calls. Luckily, those calls, I was through connections and people. Like I got Mask Mumbai again, an iconic place. I was able to be part of the team with Aditi and Prateek. They were putting an amazing place together, and they said, "Can you do the drink program?" I'm like, brilliant. So we did that whole flat top bar counter, did some amazing program. Chetan and Santosh were the bartenders there. They moved back from Ek Bar, and we did that. And then there was no stopping. So I started getting really good queries. I'm not sure whether at that time beverage consultancy was the thing. Like I don't think that there was anyone doing beverage consultancy then. And I started this thing, and I said, like, I don't want to work in one establishment, because if I wanted to do that, I would have just continue working in Bacardi. I didn't want it to work and restrict my ideation or creation to one place. So I picked up projects. If you see my website where I list all the projects, they're all in different cities across India, and they're different parts of the world. And I do it strategically. I never try to work in two projects in same city at same time. I will at least keep a gap of 1 month, 1 year, kind of a thing. The reason is very simple. For me, for them, I am working for them to create menu. But for me, it's a time when I'm learning something.
Okay.
I go to, like, for example, if I go and do a project in Kolkata, like Little Bit Sober, my aim was to learn myself about what Kolkata people love drinking. What is their idea? What is their philosophy? Now, if you ask me about Kolkatan audience and drinks, I can sit down and write a Bible about it. Okay?
Right.
So while I work with these people who pay me money, obviously, but in a way, I'm learning it myself, because I believe that learning is non-stop. You learn each and every day, and that's the reason why I want to do it in different cities. Like right now, I'm working on a project in Goa with a chef who is doing a Japanese place. Okay. Why I'm doing this? Because I had no idea about Japanese concepts, nothing about their food, nothing about their culture. I'll take this. And I started doing online courses about Japanese food. I understood what ramen is, how it is eaten, how it is the different kind of things put into it. Why? Because I need to find places which I need to learn. And if it is coming through my work, then I will do it with more passion. And that's how I work.
Amazing journey, Senior. I think to take that step from quitting your job and trying something of your own is a big step. There are a lot of highs and lows.
A lot of highs and lows, but yeah, again, I always see it as I had those moments as well. I did a project, did the menu, never got money, the bar never opened, and that kind of things happened. But luckily, I was able to work with those people who are very focused towards the product, and hence most of the bars that I've been able to put together, I will not say 100%, but most of them have done phenomenally well in kind of drinks programs and everything. Right. They have created an impact, and most of the bars are also operational till now. Like after so many years of work, they are operating, they are making money and everything. Because I believe in very simple, like I want to make drinks which sells. Okay. I personally, I like a lot of crazy stuff that happens in the world of bartending. Right. Yeah. I want to do it, but I do it in my lab, within my studio. I will do that. You will never see those things that I put on social media, or I will not try to force feed that into a cocktail menu as well. Okay. Because I don't see that that audience who's coming to that place will be happy to drink it, or will be paying extra buck money to just drink that. So I make drinks what people love, and I'm happy in that world, all of that.
So great. I think after Ek Bar, you did a lot of bars as consultant and all of that, and then you opened your own space as well.
Yes, right? The opening consultancy bars took me everywhere. I did projects across India, went abroad, London, US. I did projects everywhere, Australia, and everything. And then a moment came when I really wanted to do something of my own.
Hmm.
Like obviously that Kida is always there.
Yeah.
You also have it. I did that. I wanted to open my own space and see something. And while I was working in Ekbar, there was a chef there. Her name is Vanshika Bhatia, and she wanted to do a restaurant. And then just got married and everything. And I said like now it's time for me to I think just stay low and just do something nice and easy. And said like okay, why don't we come together and open a place where you do the food and I do the drinks. And the idea was of the two people coming together. Hence, the place was called Together. Okay, so we opened Together at 12th, which was on the 12th floor of Lee Maiden Hotel. It was a restaurant and a bar, quite a big space, and it was an amazing experience. You know, I'm sure you have been through that journey yourself many times.
Fantastic journey.
It's a fantastic journey. All those long nights of waiting for the kitchen equipment or furniture to come, which never comes for even 1 month. I did all that. Finally, the bar opened. The license didn't come on time. I think everything was great, all the stuff, but I think there was one thing that didn't wanted it to work perfectly. The God. It was a great place and everything, but small things kept happening over the period of time. We never got we were not able to put a good ground to run that business properly because what was happening, one time the pollution thing happened. We were on 12th floor. We thought, oh man, beautiful 12th floor, nice view, amazing. And we come to the place and we realize there is just white because there was smog all over. And there was smog inside the restaurant that people can't even sit because it was on the height. The smog level was high. And like, okay, so it was a beautiful view, but then the view was completely gone because of pollution. And then came...
I remember I visited
a
couple of times.
And then came the best thing in the world, which you all know is called COVID. And then COVID came and obviously then we had to shut down the place during that whole COVID period. We reopened it after the first wave, but then second wave came in, then we again closed it. Then post second wave also we reopened it. But again, to recover the business and everything, and the amount of money that was going in, it made no sense to keep running the business. So we had to close it down. Quite a big thing, but again, to be honest, I don't even feel bad for it or something. I see it as a very good learning step. The amount of learning that I developed in those 2 years' time that Together was operational is phenomenal. Like
learning, I look at it as a change which is always constant. The learning keeps changing. As the more you do, it keeps changing, but it is constant. It will keep changing. ऐसा नहीं कि मैं 4 चीज सीख गया और मैं आगे बढ़ सकूं और उस पे और
life will give you the biggest surprise every single time. The day you feel that you know something, that I think that's your last day in that particular world, to be honest. You should, if you think that you know something, you're completely wrong. There will be someone who will teach you something more than that, and that's whole thing.
So is it safe to assume that the Together at 12 episode was not a low in your life?
No, never.
It was a great learning.
I as a person, I feel that there's nothing low can happen to a person. Everything is a phase in your life which is learning. The reason Together happened is because again, a lot of good things that I did for it, and it trained me something in my life and everything. It is only beneficial. Financial loss is not a loss. You know, money will come and go. It's nothing. But if you take it in the right way, learn from it, and then adapt based on it, it'll always help. Like I learned my lesson, and then I do things accordingly.
And during COVID is when you started exploring social media, is it? How did the Mr. Bartender 698K followers? How much is it?
नहीं 698 कितने?
Yeah.
498 नहीं 468 468
I think I checked in the morning.
468 अच्छा है वो इतना होते हैं अच्छा होता है कि 468 है. So see, you know, as I was telling that I work 24/7. This is what my life is like. I love keeping myself busy with something, and I was doing that from, just imagine, my 10th class board exam till now, till COVID. I was just doing non-stop things. Like I never settled down. If I get a 1 month break, I learned flaring. If I get another 1 month break, I will learn something else. You know, I never kept myself free for anything in my life. I never, like in my jobs, I never take leaves, never take holidays. Rarely I go for a personal break or something, but I just said like, I this is how I am. I love doing things back to back.
Right now, I'm like, I want to introduce you to the BB King of bartending industry. You know BB King?
ये कौन है?
He is the one I think probably introduced blues to the
अच्छा
world.
भुवन बाम नहीं?
No,
नहीं,
not Bhuvan Ma. BB King is a blues artist. He's a guitarist.
अच्छा.
He did in a year. He did 362 live shows. Every day he played music, and 3 days he was sick.
पढ़ना पड़ेगा उसके बारे में. But yeah, that's I love doing that. I love being constantly busy something. I personally feel that like ये जो मतलब sick हुआ ना मतलब I never feel sick, but if I the day then I am do nothing to do, okay, I start feeling कि कुछ तो गड़बड़ है, ठीक है, because I give that much time to my brain to think कि कुछ गड़बड़ है, ठीक है. But yeah, I think I keep myself busy, and then in COVID when it happens, for the first few days I was just sitting. And I thought खुलेगा सब कुछ, सब सही हो जाएगा, and I realized कि ये नहीं होने वाला, कुछ नहीं होना, खुलने वाला. And slowly after a few days and everything, I started feeling very bored. You remember I used to call you and call everyone. We used to talk about our phone कि क्या चल रहा है, what are you planning to do, कैसे होएगा. And I said like यार मतलब this is not something that you know I want to do. So I was like क्या करें? So obviously starting में Netflix, but कितना Netflix देख लेंगे? मतलब
मैंने क्या किया कोविड के टाइम पे, कोविड हुआ तो घर पे ही थे. Actually I had ना बेबी तो हो गया.
तुम्हारी अर्निंग बहुत बड़ी है.
COVID, just before COVID happened, the day they announced the lockdown, I was in my hometown. उधर एक पूजा होता है, उसके लिए गए थे, full family. And my mom, my dad, me, my wife have gone there, and they said suddenly on the TV you see that ये lockdown announce हो. क्या करें अभी, कल काम वहाँ पे जाना है, काम तो है, इधर गांव में बैठ के, because you don't get network, you're watching TV there. I mean, it's not really old, but उधर नेटवर्क मिलता नहीं है. टीवी में ये सब देख रहे, काम चलो अभी गाड़ी निकालते चले जाते हैं बैंगलोर वापस. So in the night had dinner and left at night. Morning 4 o'clock घर पहुंच गया. And while we are driving, the whole city people are moving to the villages,
going the other side.
and we are going to the other side. घर आके पहुंच गया. उसके बाद ये कितना 10-12 दिन होगा ना, चलो एक होम बार सीरीज चालू कर लेते. हर दिन श्रब बनाए, ये बना, 10 एपिसोड निकाला, 12 एपिसोड. अरे ये कोविड तो बंद ही नहीं हो रहा.
Exactly, you know that's the ये खत्म होने वाली.
You started doing amazing amount of content at that time.
What I did was very simple, मतलब यही सारी चीजें थी, इन्हीं को देखा तो मैंने कहा कि यार कुछ करते हैं. So I used to call friends and everything. So एक दिन randomly बैठे ऐसे आइडिया आया, sip, speak, repeat, ऐसे ही कुछ नाम दिया था मैंने. So I started doing these talks. मैं Instagram पे लाइव जाने लगा शाम को 5 o'clock. And I used to bring someone live with me. So शायद तेरे साथ भी किया था, रोहन जल की, सबके साथ मैंने पूरी इंडस्ट्री में सब लोग के साथ सबके साथ एक मतलब करते रहे. उस टाइम पे इंस्टाग्राम लाइव कुछ होता ही नहीं था. इंस्टाग्राम को भी शायद पता नहीं था कि उनके यहाँ लाइव भी है. तो मैंने कहा कि चलो भाई इंस्टाग्राम लाइव करते हैं. तो मैं घर में बैठ के इंस्टाग्राम लाइव करता. वेरी सिंपल, द चैट वी आर डूइंग, that's a normal chat, what are you up to and everything. So I think the first episode was Rohan Jalki, and then I did lot of bartenders, मतलब जैसे रॉजर से कर लिया, संतोष से कर लिया, चेतन, अखिलेश, परम, इन लोगों से, बोस.
मुझे याद भी है तभी 2-3 लोग और भी शुरू कर दिया. टाइम भी क्लैश हो रहे थे. आपका भी 4 बजे, इसका सुनो क्या किस.
तो मेरा टाइम इसका कि भाई मेरा 5 बजे होता है हमेशा. तो फिर लोगों ने अपना शेड्यूल बनाना शुरू कर दिया कि 4 बजे लाइव होगा, 5 बजे. एंड यू विल नॉट बिलीव, you know, at that time obviously Instagram also realized it's the best time to focus. I think they also pushed it. I had, I think 2800 followers on my page, Instagram page. You know how many people used to go live on, when I used to go live, how many people used to view? 15,000, 20,000. मैंने कहा ये कौन लोग है भाई? मतलब कौन आके मेरे पेज में दो बारटेंडर बातें कर रहे हैं वो देख रहा है. मैंने किसके पता टाइम है ना. एंड आई सेड लाइक कि ठीक है, पहले 2 लाइव में 15,000, 20,000, एक मुझे याद है किसका मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा, 60,000 लोग मेरे को लाइव देख रहे थे. मेरे 3-4 हजार फॉलोवर थे उस टाइम पे. मैंने कहा ये कौन है जो लोग मेरे को लाइव देखना पसंद कर रहे हैं. मतलब आई हैड नो आइडिया. So I started doing those podcast things, videos and everything. Well, you can say it is a podcast, but उसमें क्या होता था, वीडियो सेव नहीं होती थी, वो हाथों हाथ वीडियो आती थी, but it was good fun.
Bangalore world famous grape juice.
Cheers, man. Bartenders also drink non-alcoholic stuff.
Yeah, pulpy grape juice. And I've got you some sweets. I love this brand, India Sweet House.
Okay.
Great brand. So they do very traditional sweets. This is Mysore Pak.
Okay.
And this is called Albai. This is a traditional sweet on the Western, like Mangalorean home or Kompany homes will know Albai. It's rice and jaggery and coconut made into a paste, cooked and then steamed.
And what's the leaf? Banana leaf.
Yeah, it's steamed in a banana leaf. So my mother also makes this at home, and I'm a big fan of this.
So good. New cocktail coming.
Yeah.
Very tasty है तो.
Yeah, I pour a little bit of ghee at home and have it. Yeah.
घी बहुत खाते हैं ना इस तरह.
And this is
ये भी तो घी
the special Mysore pak.
ये भी घी से loaded होता है पूरा. Just before second wave hit, I was in Shillong. So I'm married. So Tanisha and me decided to go to Shillong.
Yeah, you didn't tell us that. You were only saying काम किया. शादी करने के लिए time कहाँ से आया अभी?
शादी करने के लिए काम आया. I had did a project in Mumbai called Raspberry Rhinoceros. I didn't finish on a right note. I came back to Delhi, and then I had time in my hand before I started the next thing that I wanted to do. So I thought it's better that before I just jump into another kind of work, let me just finish this part of my life as well and get married. So I got married to Tanisha. She's a home chef. She runs a brand called Tribal Gourmet. She has done MasterChef, Femme Foodie, and 2-3 other TV shows. So she's into food business completely.
Okay.
We both met in Egg Bar. She was working in Egg Bar, and that's where I met her. And we realized that it's a perfect match. This is what because I didn't want it to get into someone's life and make it more complicated with who will not even understand what I do and why I do those things. Okay. Finally, I found this girl who understands me and is involved in my work more, just like me, or maybe more than that, and passionately do her work and can keep a balance of what I do as well.
Amazing.
So I said it's a good match, and
you can make a Netflix movie of the love story.
so our wedding hashtag was FNB, and that's why I really respect AD sir, because it's because of him we met both, because obviously it was Ek Baar.
Wow.
And we got both decided to get married at that point in our life. We got married, and then I jumped into again doing work, and she was part of my work, and then she do her own things and everything that keep happening. So when she's from Shillong, so we went to Shillong for some things that we had to go, and she wanted to just stay back because some vaccine thing her mother was pending. She said like, can I stay back for 1 or 2 more days? And I had to come back because there's some party happening at together. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll come back. I'll go and you can come 2 days later. So I came to this and a party happened in the place, and next day the news came in, the second wave is coming, lockdown. So now she got stuck in Shillong and I got stuck here in Gurgaon alone. And I'm sure you know, second wave was the worst wave. Yeah. And at that time, being in Gurgaon and Tanisha not being there, my parents somewhere else, my brother somewhere else, my wife somewhere else, I was just alone in one room. I'm like, man, this is not what I want in my life. And that's the time when I started thinking, like, you know, not in the right way. It was very scary as well because a lot of things were happening. Like, I live in a big tower and people in my building, things were happening wrong. And it's not a right environment to be in. I said, this is a time I need to put my focus into something else. So I started studying. I realized that the knowledge that I gained when I was in college has become passé and old. I need to learn something new. So I started reading every day about beverages from scratch, like what is vodka, what is gin, what is whiskey and everything. And I realized that if I'm learning, the best way to do a recap is to actually just make a video of it. So with my normal hair on day one, which was very neat and clean, I started shooting that video. If you ever get time, you scroll down on my Instagram, you will see I have all those videos because it's a memory for me. You will see like over the period of days, like 7 day, 8 day, 9 day, my hair started coming out like that. My beard started growing. So you see each day I was changing. And every day I was talking a new topic. So whatever I used to learn in a day, in the evening I had a fixed schedule. I used to get up at 8:30 or 9 in the morning, go freshen up and everything, cook breakfast for myself, sit. The sunlight used to come, study, make lunch, eat lunch, study again. 4 o'clock I used to make notes. 4:30 sun was going down. The golden hour used to happen. At that golden hour I used to shoot a video with my phone, keeping like this and talking to the phone. At around 4:35 the video would have been ready, edited myself. 6:37 I used to post. And that was my routine every day. Every single day in that second wave, I just did that non-stop. I will not let my brain be free to think and live. Because just imagine that person who has worked non-stop throughout his life is having nothing to do. Right. And there is no one to talk to. Like in first wave, at least I had Tanisha to talk to, watch Netflix. I can't sit alone and watch Netflix. You shouldn't even try it. Sit alone and watch Netflix. It looks very boring. Like you need a company to watch Netflix. So I say like I will keep my brain so occupied and everything. So by 7:30 my post used to go live, and then people used to comment. Then I used to reply to these comments, and by the time I'm replying to their comment, it was already 9:30, 10. Eat food, sleep, get up in the morning, do the same repeat. So I just kept doing this same thing till the time COVID finished. Okay. Later on, people now say like, to grow on social media, you need to have consistency. I did that without even knowing it. I still remember I used to gain 18,000, 20,000 followers in a day.
Wow.
Yeah. My Instagram used to like boom, boom, boom going. And I like, what is happening? Like, who are these people? Why they want to watch a guy who is fat, who has long hairs, talking about what is whiskey? And then people were like, oh, I love this. Can you also tell about this? Then I started feeling that these people were feeding me ideas. They used to tell me things, and like, a lot of things I even didn't know answer. So I used to study about it and make a video in the evening about it. So, and that's how I just collected my ideas and content together. And I think within 10 days or something, I reached 100K.
10 days, 100K.
In 10 days, 100K, I think so. And I was like amazed. I was like, great. And then I started understanding that this is again a new thing. Like, I realized pre-COVID, people didn't know much about cocktails. People knew about cocktails with the names, but they didn't understand cocktails from how it is made, the technique behind it and everything. I always tell this a small example, like after the second wave, when the bar opened, the first guest who walked into together, he said, do you have a boulevardier? And I'm like, come here. Who are you? Tu kaun hai? Kehta, I am your follower. That person came all the way and ordered a boulevardier because in one of the videos I told that it requires particular ingredients and everything that many people do. Then I do a sazerac. That person doesn't give him sazerac because I know you make sazerac. Can you make it? I like, but from where you got to know? It's like I saw your video on Instagram. You said you have Peugeot bitter. No one else has it. I like, yeah. Can you make one sazerac for me?
Wow.
Can you imagine that? And that I felt like this is insane. This power of social media to create education, to tell people about something is mad.
And आपको तो लगा होगा मैं अपने जाके वीडियो देख लूं क्या-क्या बोला है क्या-क्या पूछना है.
So मतलब मैंने कहा अच्छा हाँ बोला होगा ठीक है. So I started doing that, and I think it was really helpful. And my aim, initially, obviously, my aim was not to create a education platform or something. My aim was very simple: keep myself busy. Luckily, उसके साथ में चीज़ें लगी. That's the reason later on I had to put on my page accidental influencer, because people put me into that category. I hate that particular word influencer because it's not something that I personally want to do in my life from a social media perspective. But yeah, it is part and parcel of my life. Like now I can't just say like, no, I don't care about it. Yes, it is there. I'm super happy about it. I have followers. Like yesterday I was doing a guest shift at Toast and Tonic. I think at least I met 7 to 8 people who follow me on Instagram, and that's the reason they were there. They came with their friends, booked a table. They said, oh, we follow your content. I'm like, wow, great, thank you. And I have a huge following in Bangalore anyways. My big chunk of people come from Bengaluru. All because to one series of videos that I did in Bengaluru. I made a cocktail called Namma Bengaluru.
Yes, I've seen that.
And I made some videos about Tetra Pak Old Monk.
Correct.
Those videos bombarded, and a whole chunk of Bengaluru people came and jumped into my profile now. So I have a huge following here. So that's how things happened. And I just kept going with how things were shaping up. And social media has been really instrumental for me to pass on my ideas and things to people. My social media is not for bartenders. It's not made for industry. I don't talk anything which is gibberish, which is like the bar language. Like you will not listen me even saying like throw a cocktail or this like this. I just say simple things. I like add ice, shake it nice. That's one line that I always say. Because people who consume alcohol, which is the biggest chunk of people, drink it like that. They don't want complicated stuff. They want something simple stuff. I always believe there is like steps in learning things. Like US might have reached that level, people in US, about who understand what rotovap is, what clarification is, and all the stuff. India is still at a very early stage.
Agree.
Yes, there is a percentage of people who know all this stuff, but a maximum chunk of people who I interact with on day to day, with the maximum number of bars, are still at start level. If I take these people and give them something, a product from here, they will just get confused. Like you never start driving Formula 1 car from day one.
Correct.
You start from something small,
Yeah.
and that's the journey. Like you give people what they like drinking. Once they believe you that you are doing the right thing or it's the right thing, then you slowly move them up into that category. You try to jump them up, you might miss them completely. So what happened? Like I personally feel in cocktail world that was happened. Like a lot of people, especially it's a Negroni story I tell everyone.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people believe Negroni is a great cocktail because of the hype around it. If someone is entering into the world of cocktail and you want them not to drink alcohol anymore, give them a Negroni. पीना छोड़ देगा। कहेगा भाई अगर कॉकटेल ये है तो मैं शराब पीना छोड़ रहा हूँ। नशा मुक्ति केंद्र में निगरोनी पिलानी चाहिए मेरे ख्याल से। Because
इसको एक रील बना के डाल देने में बहुत कमेंट आएगा। Because I'm really curious the way you just said it that मेरा social media bartender के लिए नहीं
है। I initially I used to make content for bartenders, but then as soon as my number of followers went over 20K, I said I need to change everything that I'm supposed to do, because पूरे इंडिया में 20,000 से ज्यादा bartender नहीं है। ठीक है, इतने ही होंगे। तो अगर 20,000 थे bartender थे, तो वो तो मैं बहुत पहले क्रॉस कर चुका हूँ, है ना। तो अब जो लोग हैं मेरे उस पेज में, वो हैं किसी आईटी कंपनी में काम करता है कोई आदमी, कोई कुछ कर रहा है, कोई स्कूल में पढ़ रहा है, कोई कॉलेज में पढ़ रहा है, मतलब स्कूल नहीं मतलब हॉस्पिटैलिटी स्कूल में पढ़ रहा है ना, इस तरह की चीजें कर रहा है। सो उन लोगों को इन चीज की नॉलेज नहीं है। Bartenders have access to all these things, like all cool ideas, techniques and everything, because that's their profession. So I realized that जिनका profession bartending है, I'm not talking to them. I am saying मैं उनसे बात कर रहा हूँ जो bartending की जो profession से जो output निकलता है उसको consume करते हैं। So your content has to have that language. The language should be that they can understand, they can relate. अगर वो घर पे कोई ड्रिंक बना रहे हैं, कैसे बनाएंगे? That's what is important. Like हम बोलते हैं हमने ड्रिंक में शुगर सिरप डाला, ठीक है? I just say okay, let's make a whiskey sour. This sugar syrup. Huh? One consumer one day asked, sir, what is sugar syrup? And I realized that is so right question, because it is simple, sugar syrup. But what is the ratio? मैंने for granted लिया था कि इनको पता होगा sugar syrup ऐसा बनता है. But then I made a video how to make sugar syrup. Lot of bartenders सर पागल हो गए, कौन sugar syrup की वीडियो कौन बनाते हैं? अरे यार, but शुगर सिरप, चाशनी भी शुगर सिरप है, गुलाब जामुन का पानी भी शुगर सिरप है, जलेबी का पानी भी शुगर सिरप है ना? तो क्या मैं उसको कह दूं जलेबी का पानी डाल दिया, गुलाब जामुन का पानी डाल दिया? नहीं ना। So there is a way that you have to make sugar syrup. You have to tell consumer this is how it is done. And you tell it, and then I got maximum responses from that video. Thank you. You know, we always used to take out recipes from internet and we didn't know how to make, because उनके लिए शुगर सिरप होता था, एक ग्लास में पानी डाला, चीनी डाली, घोला और वो बन गया। बट लेकिन उसकी कंसिस्टेंसी कम है। अब ml लिखा है 20, आपकी ड्रिंक में सिट्रस ज्यादा होगा क्योंकि लाइम जूस तो फ्रेश निकाल लिया, अब शुगर बैलेंस ही नहीं है। तो उनको बताना कि रेशियो क्या है, 1:1 क्या होता है, 2:1 क्या होता है, दैट्स द थिंग, एंड दैट्स व्हाट कंज्यूमर इनसाइट इज। सो आई had dedicated my page completely just for creating consumer awareness. अगर मैं consumer को पढ़ा सकता हूँ कि cocktails क्या हैं, I think it will play a small part in growing the cocktail scene. Okay, and that's how it is done. There is a funny series I did. उसके लिए भी काफी मतलब controversial type थी वो, है ना? Lot of एक मैंने कहा from the fridge series, ठीक है? My home fridge series कुछ नाम था उसका। तो उसमें मैं क्या करता था, फ्रिज खोलता था, एक इंग्रेडिएंट निकालता था, उससे ड्रिंक बनाता था, ठीक है? और फ्रिज से मैंने बहुत चीजें निकाली, ठीक है? अब लोगों को जिस तरह से मैंने बताया, इट वाज ऑन अ वेरी नॉर्मल लैंग्वेज, लाइक अ नॉर्मल कंज्यूमर लैंग्वेज, है ना? अगर मैं उसी को बोलूं, जैसे बटर निकाला था, ठीक है? सो आई मेड अ ड्रिंक विद बटर। व्हाट इज दैट ड्रिंक? व्हाट डू यू थिंक व्हाट इज दैट ड्रिंक कैन बी? हॉट बटर, ठीक है? बट मैंने उसको हॉट बटर रम एक बार भी नहीं बोला पूरी वीडियो में। मैंने बोला देखो बटर से ऐसे ड्रिंक बनती है और एक ऐसी क्लासिक ड्रिंक एग्जिस्ट करती है, हॉट बटर रम, है ना? बट इंडस्ट्री के लोग बोलते हैं अरे बटर से कौन कॉकटेल बनाता है? अरे भाई क्लासिक कॉकटेल है, मैंने थोड़ा बनाई है ना? वो बनी हुई है, मैं तो सिर्फ उसको एक सिंप्लीफाइड मैनर में कंज्यूमर को समझा रहा हूँ कि भाई आप ये भी कर सकते हो, है ना? आई मेड ड्रिंक्स लाइक दैट। देयर इज वन वीडियो दैट बिकेम क्वाइट अ कंट्रोवर्शियल थिंग, अचार वाली कॉकटेल। सो आई टुक अ पिकल एंड टर्न इट इनटू अ कॉकटेल, ठीक है? उसकी इंस्पिरेशन मुझे आई थी, आई वाज टॉकिंग टू पीपल इन सोशल डू अचारी कैपिरोश का, करेक्ट, अचारोश का नाम से करते हैं। इट इज वन ऑफ द हाईएस्ट सेलिंग ड्रिंक फॉर देम, ठीक है? अब ये चीज ना किसी को पता नहीं होती है, ठीक है? अब मैंने अचार से वही कॉकटेल को बना दिया। लोग बोलते नितिन पागल हो गया, अचार से कौन कॉकटेल बनाता है ना? बट यार प्रॉब्लम ये है ना, अब वो पिकलिंग करना हमारे कंज्यूमर को नहीं आता। जो मेरे पेज पे 400K फॉलोवर हैं, उनको ये नहीं बोल सकता कि यू डू दिस, यू लैक्टो फर्मेंट करो, ये करो, उनके पास टाइम नहीं है। उनको बोला पिकल है, यू टेक पिकल एंड पुट इनटू अ ड्रिंक, इट टेस्ट नाइस, इट गिव्स यू अ नाइस सेवरी फ्लेवर, स्वीट, सिट्रस, स्पाइस सब आ जाता है। अगर देखा जाए तो आजकल के टाइम में बहुत ऐसी ड्रिंक बन रही है, देन सम internationally one big place did the same thing, अचार की drink, but roto web कर दी, तो वो cool हो गया कि भाई so cool, such a cool thing, you know, अचार की drink बनाई है, अरे it is the same thing, बस उसको roto web कर दिया तो वो bartending के लिए cool हो गई, but consumer के लिए बिल्कुल cool नहीं हुई ना, consumer can't do roto web. That's a very important thing to understand. Like I always tell to people, it is my social media is dedicated for people who are normal people who just want to learn about basic things. I teach them that, I give them ideas, and 3 years from now, if they love those drinks, good drinks, they will become those people who will understand the crazy stuff as well. And that's how the journey is.
Wow, that's amazing. So the 3 years from now, you're saying people who have been following you and understanding the drink, they will be able to graduate to the next level of.
See, I see it like the people who follow me, they message me every time. They go to like a guy. They went to San Francisco, for example. Like, which bar should I go? Where should I drink? They went to like, they were in US team. I said like, go to Double Chicken, please. Go to Dead Rabbit. Go try this cocktail. Those people are drinking that cocktail. They are traveling more than me because these people can afford. They can travel and explore things. And these people who were just telling me few days, asking me questions like, sir, what is a SAR? What is a whiskey SAR? How do you make it? And now they have evolved into that level. Now these people give me ideas that, you know, I went to this bar, I tried it. And that's the kind of thing that you do.
And with so many followers, you respond to all of them?
Yes.
Yourself? You have a team?
No.
Okay.
I have no one for my social media. I manage my social media completely by myself.
है क्या यूज कर सकते हैं इसके लिए?
I do everything myself. I have now a person who can shoot the video edit for me. For big part of my life, I used to shoot and edit myself, but as the work grew, I can't manage it now. So I have a person who shoots and edits, but I try to shoot all my videos in one go because of my schedule. I take out one day, maybe in 2 months or 1 month, and I sit down and do 30 videos in one go. I keep collecting ideas while, like for example, eating this, as I said, ना ऐसे cocktail बनाते हैं. So idea रख लिया है और मैं phone में लिख लूँगा. तो जब मेरे को time मिलेगा, तो जिस दिन वो होगा उस दिन मैं मंगवा के फिर सबके लिए उससे कोई drink बनाऊँगा. ये grape juice, again same idea. So I take inspiration from all the stuff, keep collecting it, and then one day I'll shoot it, and then this team will edit it and give it to me, and I keep posting it regularly.
Okay.
And response-wise, I'm very. I might not be systematic person in a lot of things, but I'm very systematic about social media because I realize that if I do social media throughout the day, it will take a big chunk of your life as well. So I only go active on particular time periods of the day. Like for example, in the morning, after I get up and everything, I go on social media, see the comments, reply, learn things, save things what I want to do. Then in the evening around 8:30 I post stories, and at 9:30 I do a post. If you try to notice it, that is the pattern that I've been following for last 3 years, if I'm not wrong. Every day 8:30 I post stories, every day 9:30 I post a reel, and few days I miss, but that's a trend that I've tried to follow. And this gives me a system. Like now, a lot of people around me, they know 9:30 में Nitin को phone मत करना. They don't call me. My family don't eat dinner at 9:30. Either they will eat before or they will wait for me by 9:45. That's when the dinner is laid down because they know that I will be busy from 9:30 to 9:45, and it's a standard that I have set for myself, and I think that is working for me.
Amazing, yeah, amazing. I'm sure you're making a lot of money from social media.
Good question. ना पैसे वाली बात. I'll not say no to it, but yes, you can definitely make a lot of money. But I restrict that to a particular level right now. I don't do more than 2 or 3 collaborations in a month, and that's intentional. I only collaborate on doing things where I feel really happy about. So I think if you have to put a number, like if I post, like let's say 30 pieces of content in a month, out of which 25, 26 will be what I want to do. That is completely non-paid for. There's something that I wanted to share and everything. And then 4, 5 will be there to take care of the cost that I have to incur. Like I have a studio, I have a team member, I have a cost to shoot, edit and all that stuff. There is somewhere I need to manage that cost. And that's the reason I just do 2, 3 collaborations to take care of all that cost for me. So I haven't jumped into that place where I want to make it like a business for me, like a profit earning business, because I feel that there is still time for it. I really want to grow more on my viewership and everything. And then one day when I want to do that, I will think of doing or capitalizing upon it. Right now, I have other businesses that I do that you might know of. That is giving me enough to keep myself happy.
Okay. So I think the journey of you starting off with social media and what you have done is really, really inspiring, and also the fact you said that consumer insights is very, very important. Also, for me, I think working with Bacardi, the consumer insights was something which was a new learning, and I utilize a lot of that while the work what I do. So if you have to look at the other side of the industry, right, bartenders, bartending, of course now you've spoken a lot about what you do for the consumer, but what state do you think our bartending landscape in the country is? You think some sort of social media or any other way of educating bartenders or raising awareness or anything like that is happening from your end? What's your take on it?
See, bartending in India, I think, is at a very right place right now. I think the amount of attention that the bartending industry is getting right now, not only from, let's say, liquor brands who are investing a huge to support this bar industry. A lot of time, bartenders forget this, that they think that they are above the brand, but they forget that brands are the one who is making them a bartender. Like they make them popular, they make them known to someone else. So we should be always thankful for them. Because when I was in Bacardi, I realized that how much a brand can do. They can change fortunes of a bar or a bar team in a day, like because they have that much power to do that for you. So there's a lot of attention coming from these brands to the industry. Plus, there is a lot of things internationally that is happening in India. We are getting into like 50 best bar list and all this thing, which has got a lot of attention for Indian bar scene. And the most importantly, consumers have become really serious about drinking as a concept. Like there was India has always been a food dominating thing. People loved about, like we had biryanis from 4 different places. Okay? Now is the time when people are saying like now we have 4 different bars and we're going to have 4 different cocktails. Okay, that was not a case. Now it is happening because the consumer awareness is increasing. Every time consumer want to learn new things, they want to see new things. And that is all helping this bar industry to grow and up and everything. Obviously, whenever things happen for something, there are positives and negative side of it. But to be honest, looking at the positive side is really helping the industry. There's still a long way to go because obviously the environment in India is not the best for a bartender to grow because there are a lot of other factors that really helps. Like, if someone wants to be, like we always in India say like, oh, Indian bartenders doesn't have great communication and everything. Okay. The problem is that most of the Indian bartenders who come into the bar industry come from a very, mid, what do you say, kaun si family hoti hai wo?
Middle class.
Most of the bartenders who come into the industry are the middle class family people. They have done their schooling, they want to work hard, they have family to support and everything. And bartending is not a high paying job, to be honest. It is a high paying job after you have achieved a level of bartending. When you have reached that level that you are a pro, people know you for the quality of work that you do, then you will do. But maximum of them are very low pay scale.
Also, I feel it's a sort of a perception. One is that drinking itself is a taboo to get into that industry. The other perception also, sometimes I feel like कि bartenders अपने आप सोचने लग जाते हैं कि अगर मुझे इंग्लिश नहीं आता तो मैं काम नहीं कर पाएगा. Right? See, that is something which is changing, but I wish it changed at a much faster rate than.
More and more people who lead the industry and everything, they should pass it on, because see, when a big competition happen, bartenders from across the globe comes in and they present. Okay, and a bartender from Japan doesn't talk in English. They talk in Japanese. Every country speaks in that and everything. That is fine. But in India, if an Indian bartender goes up and is not able to speak English fluently, it is considered as a negative thing. No, it should not be. If an Indian bartender reaches at that level and speaks a fluent Hindi and do a presentation, I think we should support it. What's wrong? We are not here judging how the person speaks. We are judging the person on the quality of drink that person is making. So I think that criteria has to be clear in people's mind and the support has to be given to that. Yes, obviously English is a second language. People speak English everywhere across in India. But I think that's not a criteria for judging a quality of a bartender. Drink is a criteria for judging everything. And I think awareness is happening now, slowly and steadily.
If I were to ask you that when you specified that situation where you wanted to go for a competition and then the team supported you, they gave you jacket, watch and all of that, right? If say, I assume maybe there are thousands of bartenders who are in the industry right now at that age, say 21, 22, who are getting into the industry, learning, want to make it big. What is that one advice or one thing you would say that, see, maybe at that time if you would have asked, maybe 5 years ago if I would have asked you, would have told me पहले काम करो और स्किल सीखो, तुम पहले स्किल सीखो, नॉलेज ले लो स्पिरिट ब्रांड्स का, इसका उसका, बाद में तुम सीखना, maybe 5 years or 7 years before. But if I have to ask you today, with what you have done with social media, you are talking to consumer at one end, and then there is bartending fraternity who is coming. You are seeing a lot of bartenders who are so creative in the things what they do, and more, I think we should encourage more people to come into the industry as well. But what would be your advice for people who are currently at that age, young guys? Maybe should you go the entrepreneur route, or you, whatever it may be?
Yeah, see, I think everything will come to bartenders' life with the time they pass. But personally, I believe that there is not a single mantra that you can follow and become a great success. Okay,
Yes.
you have to learn from everything. Social media is great, but I don't say social media is the only thing. Okay. You can use social media to understand people and their needs and requirements and everything. You can create your own personality and profile. Like, I was a bartender even before social media happened. You know me pre-social media. Okay, everyone in the industry mostly know me pre-social media thing, and I did my work as well and everything. But post that, I have a different. The people look at me in a different way. Okay, after the social media thing has happened. So what it does, it creates a persona for you in people's mind. Okay, and it creates an impression of what this person is all about, the kind of drinks they do, and all that stuff. So social media definitely helps, but it's good to get knowledge, get understanding, and create your own persona. But it will not stand by itself. See, as a bartender, I personally feel that it is not just one thing that you can do perfectly and you will become the best person. You need to have a combination of all. Social media can give you insights about consumers, how to interact, how to talk to them and everything, create a persona, a personality for yourself. So even before you enter, like whenever someone wins a competition or passes in a competition, I tell them that when you enter a bar, the judge should already know you. And they should already know you that you are going to make this drink. And that is only possible that somehow that judge has already seen your video or a photo even before he has been there. So what has happened, you got an added advantage. Just like, oh, I know this guy. Okay, it's not a surprise.
Yes.
And that's how you have to win a competition. You should win competition all around. Like, I think there is a learning in everything. I say it always. Whenever you enter in a competition, I think the best person to see is Narendra Modi, controversy na ho bas. How he wins election. Okay, they create an environment around it. Whether it's negative, positive, I don't want to comment on it because it's politics. But how they actually market things. So if they pick up a person and this person is putting his nomination for a particular city, they will create an environment around it. उससे पहले picture आ जाएंगी, poster आ जाएंगे, collabs आ जाएंगे, social media शुरू हो जाएगा. 1,000 things happen. And then on the voting day, you see the result of it. That all the vote went to that guy. So you can't leave all your eggs into one thing कि उस दिन जाके मैं best cocktail बनाऊंगा तो मैं competition जीत जाऊंगा. नहीं. Competition जिस दिन participate किया है उस दिन से हमारा competition चालू हो गया है. Everything you do on social media or in a public platform or in a bartender conference, how you are dressing up, how you are talking, you have to live that thing. And once you start doing that, you are in that league to win a competition. Okay, or you are there in that level to be called as a good bartender.
Agreed.
And that's why I say, like, all these small things, your knowledge about that brand, your knowledge about consumers who are drinking it, your knowledge about their drink strategy globally, you should all know all of those things to put it together.
Correct.
And then go out as one person.
Yes.
You need to keep thinking ki acha, globally they are pushing this type of cocktails. I am participating in India with this. If I use this idea, it will really help me to push my drink forward. That's it. Now, if a brand wants to promote, let's say, like I'll take an example like Jaeger Meister. Okay, everyone thinks Jaeger is only can be consumed as a shot, but as a brand, they don't want to promote as a shot.
Yes.
So if you make a shot out of it, they say like, "Hey, hट जा भाई, side." So, but if you make a cocktail out of it, they're like, "Ah, good job, good job." So that's how you need to understand what person wants to see, learn. And then you create your own stuff around it.
And also, I keep telling a lot of bartenders also that if you lose a competition, don't get disheartened. The best analogy or probably example I give is look at Olympic, the guy who's going to run for a 100-meter race. He knows that there is a better guy who's anyways going to run for it. But he trains for years together, and out of those 10 people who run, only 100%. One is the winner. And by what? A fraction of a second, right?
It's exactly, that's the two thing. Like, you are there in a competition to experience it and leave a mark there. Okay, you're not there to win it. If you win it, That's the best thing to happen, but you will have to work really hard to reach that. That Neeraj Chopra who won the Olympic medal, like he would have participated in a lot of competitions before Olympic, okay, and which no one in India talked about or no one even knew about it. But the day he won that Olympic gold, everything changed for his life, and that's how it is. You have to work hard for years and years and years and years and years to reach that one golden moment. And the day you reach that level, you have to live that life and make sure that you continue from there. It's not that जीत गए तो चिल हो गया, नहीं, उसके बाद तो लाइफ शुरू होती है. दैट्स द मेन पॉइंट.
अमेजिंग. तो चलो अभी आपसे इतना बात कर ही लिया तो एक और टॉपिक मुझे आपका दिमाग के अंदर डाल के पूछना है कि आप क्या सोचते हो इसके बारे में. आपके हिसाब से बार टेक ओवर क्या है?
बार टेक ओवर, आई पर्सनली फील इट्स अ गुड मार्केटिंग थिंग, ओके, एंड it's a trend that has come into the market. Lot of people do it in a right way, but most of them do it in a very wrong way. The idea is very simple: to bring one experience which can't be consumed by everyone in that city to any other place and give them a taste of it and everything. So it's a very good way of giving cross exposures and taste. Like for example, your drink, people have to travel to Bengaluru and try, but if given a chance, Soka can come to Gurgaon and people in Gurgaon can try it. That's a big advantage, and that's how takeover should be used for. Okay, the drink experience and the vibe experience is the most important thing. It should be perfect. Like when you come to a place out there, everything should be just like how it is done in Soka. Because people, if they're coming for your takeover in Delhi, they're coming to experience Soka, not that bar. What happened a lot of time, there is a mix and match of it. There is little bit of this bar, little bit of that bar, and consumers just get confused कि हो क्या रहा है यहाँ पे, है ना? So I think takeovers are really helpful. This is helping the Indian bar scene quite a lot, because at least now Delhi NCR या फिर मुंबई के बार को पता तो है कि सोका नाम से यहाँ एक बार है ना? ये पहले ये होता ही नहीं था, है ना? Similarly, it's happening for everyone. So at least it is creating awareness for it. But I personally feel there is a huge scope in improving how it has been executed. अगर उसको अच्छे से execute किया जाए, it will be a phenomenal thing for everyone. Just गेस्ट शिफ्ट में प्रॉब्लम टेक ओवर में होता है क्या है, इतने लोग हो जाते हैं कि वो बेचारा बारटेंडर की ड्रिंक, मेरा बहुत बार हुआ है, मैं दिल्ली के किसी टेक ओवर में पहुंचा, जब तक मैं ट्रैफिक क्रॉस करते हुए पहुंचा तब तक ड्रिंक सोल्ड आउट हो गई थी. उस बार में मैंने कहा भाई तू अपनी ड्रिंक दे दे, वो पी वापस आ गया. बट दैट्स द थिंग दैट हैज टू हैपन. I think personally saying it's a great thing happening for industry that this whole cross thing is happening. Liquor brands is supporting it, so that's a really cool thing as well, and people are getting exposure. But there is a huge scope for people to capitalize upon it and do it in a very right manner.
Amazing. To be honest, I think we have had quite a long chat. I would still want to have another probably.
बिरयानी मंगा लेते हैं.
ये आपका देवी सिंह का मैंने रिसेंटली एक वीडियो देखा यार, बहुत बढ़िया. एक्चुअली देवी सिंह के लिए अभी एक देख भाई, बिरयानी खिला के पॉडकास्ट करवा दिया ना, इतने बड़े इन्फ्लुएंसर. वायरल करो यार, मुझे भी फेमस करो. साले देवी कुछ तो करा अगली बार. But thank you so much for taking out time for this. I think we definitely need to do another episode.
Yes,
maybe sure. The next one not biryani, something else.
कोई नई cuisine ढूंढते हैं इस बार.
नया flavors.
शेफ सोमबीर हमारे लिए खाना बनाएंगे next time. सोका का सो.
Okay, so what is that one pain point, thing which you want to whine about, like whining about this industry?
View इकट्ठे कर रहा है. But like I can also talk about it. Like see, I personally feel that bartending is बहुत simple business है. Like it's a very simple thing to do. I personally feel it's about a bartender who's coming with a fresh mind, entering the bar, अपना prep कर रहा है, ingredients देख रहा है, consumer से मिल रहा है, उनकी understanding ले रहा है कि उनको क्या पीना है, क्या खाना है, then making a drink for them, serving it to them. That's what bartending is all about. It's about how you're able to host that person who's sitting in front of you with the best of you. Okay? अभी लेकिन ना कुछ ज्यादा ही फिल्टर हो गए. इस चीज में इतने फिल्टर लगा दिए गए हैं इस बारटेंडिंग में कि you have to do things which are a little complicated, you have to use some fancy ingredients, you have to make sure that कोई टेक्निक दरी होनी चाहिए, सिंगल इंग्रेडिएंट कॉकटेल, क्लैरिफिकेशन, रोटोवैप, है ना, ट्रेंड सेट होने चाहिए, तुमने कोई ऐसी कॉकटेल बनानी चाहिए जो किसी ने रेप्लिकेट नहीं करी. अरे यार मतलब इट्स नॉट दैट. मतलब तुमने वो सब कुछ करके जब एंड में प्रोडक्ट आगे आता है कहते हैं भाई ये है क्या, है ना, कंज्यूमर. The consumer is not happy with it. So I think it's very important that bartenders should just forget a lot of filters, lot of things. Don't try to overcomplicate the profession there we are in. Just be as free as everything. You know, like bartending जब शुरू हुई थी, मतलब I did a movie called Cocktails, Tom Cruise की है ना, है ना, उसका है ना, उसका जब when you see that movie, you see that he's enjoying behind the bar, है ना? Both the guys are flaring, making cocktails, singing songs, and that's what bartending was all about. It was all about being fun. It was not putting a filter into what you can say, what you can put, what you can do, है ना? बहुत जरूरी है. So like how I try to tell this to people, like we have a academy. I'm sure like it's based out of Gurgaon. It's called Barkala Academy.
Yes.
And I was being very fortunate to partner with Bacardi for that, because the program that they run called Shake Your Future, which is for the future generation of bartenders. Their idea is to support people who can't afford education, but they want to find a job opportunity or come into the field of bartending, to support them. So the academy doesn't charge any fees to people. It's free of cost completely.
Amazing.
We handpick the people who we select for it. We try to focus on people who are mostly from outside the industry, little financial background, weak financial background, or people who are in the industry are doing something else. Like for example, we have people who are from housekeeping. We have a lot of glassies, like PCOs. Glassy is now a bartender because of the course. A lot of outlets, their bar backs, we have trained them to become a bartender from there.
Amazing.
And we select 15 people in a batch. And it's a 10-day course. It starts at 10:30 in the morning, goes till 5:30 in the evening. We provide lunch. We provide all the materials from kit, diaries, to uniform, sab kuch. And we give them a training which is about very basic bartending, very basic stuff.
That's
we
such
don't,
a noble,
we don't teach them anything fancy. We teach them how to make, how to squeeze, freshly squeezed lime juice, how to make sugar syrup, how to shake, how to stir, what are different spirits, and how to make classic cocktails. That's it. We teach them this. We give them the foundation. It's called Foundation Course in Bartending, and then we put them into market.
How does one register to this now?
It's very simple. You can go to Barkala page. We keep posting whenever there's a new batch happening.
It's a website?
Barkala on Instagram. We don't have a website as of now. It's an Instagram page.
Barkala.
Barkala. We'll put the link somewhere here and there. People can go register whenever the registration opens, and we from a collection number of people that register, we do one-to-one interviews. We do online interviews and physical interviews, and then we shortlist the top 15 and we get them for the course. We train them. This year we have already done 3 batches. Our aim by March end is to do around 7 batches put together. And it has made some lot of bartenders. Like if you go to PCO, there's a guy named Saurabh. There's go to home, there's a bar called Ankit. There is a girl named Deepika who's now working, who was working in Layer previously. Now she's working for a Japanese place. There are a lot of students. You will go different places. You will find all this Rupali, Pallavi, all these people. They are all students from Shake Your Future course and are doing phenomenally well in their career. And it gives us a great feeling of happiness when you see the people who you have trained or shown a little direction are doing phenomenally well in their careers.
Outstanding. Hats off to you for doing that.
It's again the team. I must tell you, like I am sitting here, the classes are on, so it is them who are doing it. It's been great that the kind of relationship that I've been able to develop over the period of time. I've been able to get them into reality. I always wanted to do an academy. I always wanted to do it not a money focused thing. I wanted to run it like a place where people can just come and learn, and a company like Bacardi supported in doing that. Otherwise, it's impossible. Now, if I have to charge money, then my education program has to be different. Then I have to take support from some things, then the education will be different. But Bacardi given me a platform. It's like I don't have to talk to anyone about Bacardi brands. It's just bartending, and it's a thing that they're doing, which I really thank them for.
Yes. I think they are doing extraordinary work for the community. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I know, yaar, बहुत चीजें हो रही हैं. There are a lot of things happening, but nothing of these were planned. To be honest, I wanted to just do consulting. That was one thing, and I had only one team member, Suraj, at that time. And all these people who work with me, I'm sure you know most of them. They're all those people who actually started their careers with me. So ये सब लोग घूमते रहते हैं, फिर they meet and everything. And I used to do events, but very small scale events, very cocktail centric. and everything. And then Param, who used to work at Stranger, he quit and he came and said like he wants to do something, and he said like, can I join your company and help you into it? I like, see, that's not happening. If you want to join the company, we become partners, and that's how I started the 30/60 vertical. So all these works happening, like keep happening one by one. And I am not a person, if I really dream of doing something, if I get a chance to do it, I will do it. I will not think twice about ki aage kaise hoga. I know I will manage it and everything. How I manage my personal life, again, not many people know about my personal life, and I keep it this way. Only select few people know about my personal life, how it is. It never goes on social media. I try to keep my social media is my professional profile, if I have to say so. What people know me, like when someone see me on social media, they see I'm the guy who goes out to party, drink every day and everything. But you know it, I am completely reverse. Like, you know, I might be sitting in a restaurant eating food, but I not be in a bar drinking a cocktail. I only do it once in a time. Like when I came to Bangalore, we go out and drink, but it's very limited, and I don't drink regularly as well. So my social media profile is just a persona I've created for people, which people love to see and everything. But personal life, I try to keep it as separate as possible. The good thing that happens there, as I mentioned, she's from the same industry, so we both understand each other. So she's part of most of the things. Like if I'm doing a menu for some place, so she's sitting and doing the designing for the menu of it. That place. So what happens is our work is also what our personal life is all about.
Yes.
It's little confusing, but I think we both are loving it.
No, but if you were not doing what you're doing right now, bartending, what is your most favorite thing which you do while you're not bartending or doing anything to do with bartending? One thing that you made us very clear. Netflix में अकेला नहीं देख सकता, कोई तो चाहिए.
वो भी करता.
ठीक है, हम फिर करते हैं.
I think I don't know what I would have been doing if not bartending. Maybe I would have been into a food industry or something like that. Maybe, and I don't know what else. Like because see,
what apart from, let's say, what's your favorite pastime? What do you do when you're not doing bartending or shooting a video?
Eat food. I think like apart from what I work, and the only thing that we do something else is about going to a new restaurant, exploring a new restaurant and everything. And yes, traveling is one big part of it. And I don't travel like people travel to go to scenic beauty and see the monuments. I don't travel to do that. I travel to eat food, and luckily I have a wife who shared that passion with me. Like we did a Europe trip. We went to Amsterdam, then we went to Germany, then we went to Belgium, then we went to Paris. And the only itinerary that we had was not in Paris, not Eiffel Tower. It was eating breakfast here, brunch here, bakery here, dinner here. It was all set for that. We plan our itinerary based on which restaurant, which places we need to eat food, and that's what we travel for. So she's from the same industry. She wants to explore different things, and I'm super happy. Like if someone is ordering food for me, I'm super happy that food comes in front, and I'm like, nice, tasty. Luckily, that's the life that I'm living right now.
So maybe if you were not been an influencer on bartending, you would have been a food influencer. Go travel the world and talk about the
I think whatever I've got in my life is only because of bartending, and I'm super thankful for this career, this industry to give me this. I don't think I would have achieved anything like this sort. Maybe I'm sitting in an IT company or like that, but you know, I always say, like, at an age when people start deciding their career is, luckily I already knew what I want to be in my life.
Amazing,
in 10th class, by 10th class, you're already in that world of studying. In 11th, when you start thinking कि मैं आगे जाके क्या करूँगा, 11th I knew कि मेरे को bartender ही बनना है, तो मेरे को time ही नहीं मिला कुछ और चीज सोचने का, है ना, कि मैं ये भी कर सकता था. But I think that's how the life has been, and as I said, I am thankful for every single individual who has been part of this life and who I will meet in future. I'm thankful to them, people like you, for like anything that happens for me in my life where I need this. You are a call away. I like Avinash, I need that, and it happens, and that's how things really helps.
Me, my team, I think we're all a great fan of the work what you do, and always happy to work with you. Once again, I would like to thank you so much for joining the podcast. Let's keep some more questions for a next episode.
Time, for sure. Thank you, man. Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers. Woohoo! One of the best ones.